The first message from the stars was not a greeting. It was a question. Unknown civilization. Identify yourselves. The words appeared on thousands of screens across Earth at the same moment. Phones vibrated. Television stations stopped broadcasting. Air traffic control towers froze in silence. Satellites repeated the same sentence in every language humans had ever recorded. For 10 long seconds, the entire world forgot how to breathe. Then the panic began. People rushed into streets looking up at the sky. Parents grabbed their children. Soldiers hurried to their bases. Scientists stared at their instruments hoping they had made a terrible mistake. They had not. Above Earth, 12 enormous ships drifted into view. They were so large that they looked like moving mountains wrapped in silver light. They did not fire. They did not move closer. They simply waited. Inside the United Earth Emergency Command Center in Geneva, alarms echoed through every hallway. General Nathan Brooks walked quickly into the operations room. Report. An officer swallowed hard. 12 unidentified vessels in high orbit. No known propulsion system. No weapons detected. Yet. No weapons. None that our sensors understand. Across the room, Dr. Elena Carter stood in front of a massive screen filled with strange symbols. She was one of Earth's best linguists. Years earlier, people had laughed when she argued that humanity should prepare for alien communication. Nobody was laughing now. She adjusted her glasses. They're transmitting more than one language. General Brooks frowned. Can you understand them? Not yet. She zoomed in on one repeating symbol. But they're trying to understand us. Silence filled the room. That sounded peaceful. It should have been comforting. Instead, something about the message felt wrong. Very wrong. Far above Earth, aboard the Dominion flagship Iron Judgment, Commander Varric watched the small blue planet rotate beneath him. So this is the forgotten world. His first officer nodded. Primitive, industrial civilization, early spaceflight capability, no evidence of faster-than-light travel. Varric smiled. A routine operation. The Dominion had expanded for nearly 4,000 years. Every civilization they encountered had already been listed inside the Galactic Accord's great archive. Every species, every government, every war, every homeworld. Nothing escaped the archive. Until now. An intelligence officer looked confused as another database search failed. No records. Varric barely looked up. Try again. I have, Commander. Search under another stellar classification. Already completed. Ancient records? Nothing. The officer hesitated. It is as if this species has never existed. A few officers laughed quietly. Someone forgot to file the paperwork. Perhaps they're too unimportant. Varric folded his hands. The galaxy is vast. Oversights happen. He looked toward Earth again. We will correct this one. Back on Earth, world leaders gathered through secure communication lines. Some demanded immediate military action. Others wanted diplomacy. Nobody agreed. President Sofia Alvarez finally spoke. If they wanted us dead, would we still be alive? No one answered. General Brooks looked toward Dr. Carter. What do you think? She remained focused on the symbols. They're speaking with confidence. So confident people don't ask who you are? Brooks frowned. What do you mean? She enlarged another line of alien writing. They're asking us to identify ourselves. Yes, but listen carefully. She translated it again. Unknown civilization. Identify yourselves. She looked around the room. They're confused. General Brooks crossed his arms. They've never seen us before. No, she shook her head. It's worse. They expected us to already be somewhere else. Commander Varric finally authorized direct communication. A beam of light connected his flagship with Earth's communication satellites. His image appeared across the planet. He was tall, pale, with silver eyes and dark armor that reflected the stars themselves. I am Commander Varric of the Dominion. His calm voice echoed worldwide. You are an unidentified civilization occupying stellar system 441 Terra. Millions watched in complete silence. You will identify your governing authority and submit to peaceful administrative integration. Entire cities erupted in confusion. Administrative integration? Nobody knew what that meant. General Brooks muttered quietly. Occupation? Dr. Carter nodded, without saying the word. President Alvarez leaned toward the microphone. This is President Sofia Alvarez of Earth. We welcome peaceful dialogue. Varek's face remained expressionless. Excellent. We will begin planetary assessment immediately. She blinked. Assessment? For integration. Her voice became firmer. Earth has not agreed to integration. For the first time, Varek looked surprised. You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. The transmission ended. Hours passed. No attack came. Instead, strange drones descended into Earth's atmosphere. They never landed. They floated over cities, oceans, forests, and deserts, collecting information, watching, listening. Military aircraft attempted to approach them. The drones simply moved away faster than any human machine could follow. Dr. Carter studied every signal they emitted. Late that night, she noticed something impossible. One transmission contained a reference to something called the Great Archive. She searched every historical database on Earth. Nothing. No myths, no legends. Nothing at all. She frowned. If the aliens possessed records of every civilization, why was Earth missing? Aboard Iron Judgment, the intelligence division worked without rest. Search after search returned the same answer. No record found. One young analyst nervously approached Commander Varek. Permission to speak. Granted. I've compared every archive. And there is no evidence Earth was erased. Varek looked up. Explain. If records are deleted, traces remain. There are no traces. What are you suggesting? The analyst hesitated. It is as though nobody has ever discovered Earth. Silence followed. Another officer laughed. Impossible. The analyst nodded. I know. But impossible is what the data says. Varek stood. Expand the search. Include pre-Accord civilizations, ancient exploration records, lost colonies, everything. Hours later, nothing, not a single mention. Even stars surrounding Earth's system seemed strangely absent from older exploration logs. That made no sense. Entire regions of space appeared. Forgotten. On Earth, military commanders prepared for the worst. Factories shifted production overnight. Civilian companies volunteered resources. Scientists shared research across national borders without arguments. Engineers who had competed for decades suddenly worked together. One journalist noticed something unusual. Humanity had stopped asking who deserved credit. Everyone only asked one question. What helps? Commander Maya Reyes stood aboard Earth's orbital defense station, watching alien ships through reinforced glass. Her deputy looked nervous. They're bigger than anything we've imagined. They are. Can we stop them? Reyes answered honestly. I don't know. She smiled slightly. But they'll have to earn this planet. Inside the Dominion fleet, confidence remained high. Simulation after simulation predicted victory. 98% success. Estimated campaign length. 4 days. Commander Varek approved the operation. No unnecessary destruction. We require functioning infrastructure. The fleet acknowledged. As officers prepared invasion plans, another warning appeared on the intelligence display. Unknown signal detected. Origin. Beyond the solar system. Weak. Ancient. Repeating. The signal lasted only 2 seconds before disappearing. The communications officer frowned. Equipment malfunction? No confirmation. Varek dismissed it. Ignore it. Focus on the operation. Dr. Carter could not sleep. She replayed every intercepted transmission. Something bothered her. Not the language, not the technology, the attitude. The aliens behaved like people arriving at a scheduled meeting, only to discover someone unexpected sitting in the room. She whispered to herself, who were they expecting? At that exact moment, another hidden transmission emerged from the alien fleet. Most of it was encrypted. Only one sentence translated successfully. Population classification pending. Pending? Not primitive, not hostile. Pending. As though humanity did not fit any known category. She immediately contacted General Brooks. We're missing something. What? I don't know. But they don't understand us either. 24 hours after first contact, Commander Varric made his decision. The assessment is complete. His officers waited. Civilization possesses industrial capacity. Limited orbital defenses. No faster-than-light capability. Minimal strategic threat. He looked toward Earth. They have refused administrative integration. The bridge remained silent. Varric spoke one final command. Initiate Phase 1. Throughout the fleet, engines ignited. Weapons awakened. Attack formations spread across orbit. On Earth, warning systems screamed. Every defense network came online. Commander Reyes watched red symbols flood her tactical display. They're moving. General Brooks spoke over secure communications. All forces prepare. President Alvarez took a deep breath. May history remember what we do today. Thousands of alien ships accelerated toward Earth. Then, every Dominion communication channel went silent. Not jammed, not destroyed. Silent. Bridge officers stared at frozen displays. Long-range transmitters stopped responding. Encrypted military networks vanished. Even internal communications flickered. The silence lasted only 3 seconds. But during those 3 seconds, every sensor aboard the Iron Judgment detected the same impossible thing. Something enormous had answered the Dominion's broadcasts. Not from Earth. Not from any ship. From somewhere deep beyond the edge of the solar system. The unknown signal returned. This time it carried only 4 words. Observer protocol. Compromised. Then it disappeared. Commander Varric's confident expression vanished for the very first time. Commander Maya Reyes did not wait for permission. All defense stations, engage, she ordered. Her voice echoed through every human command center as warning sirens howled across Earth. Red lights flashed inside orbital stations, underground bunkers, and naval command ships. Every nation had agreed on one thing. If the aliens attacked, humanity would stand together. Above the planet, the 12 giant Dominion vessels slowly changed formation. Commander Varric stood motionless on the bridge of the Iron Judgment. The strange message, Observer protocol. Compromised, still echoed in his thoughts. Have we restored communications? He asked. Yes, Commander, replied the communications officer. The interruption lasted only 3.2 seconds. Source? Unknown. Varric narrowed his eyes. Proceed with the operation. He refused to let a mystery delay an easy victory. Moments later, hundreds of smaller Dominion attack craft detached from the larger ships and descended toward Earth. They're entering the atmosphere, an operator shouted inside Earth's Unified Defense Command. General Nathan Brooks looked toward Dr. Elena Carter. Any chance they're coming peacefully? Elena watched the tactical display. They're flying in combat formations. Brooks gave a grim nod. Then we meet them as soldiers. The first battle began over the Pacific Ocean. Dominion fighters moved with impossible speed, weaving through the sky like streaks of silver light. Human pilots could not match their technology, but they knew their own skies. Commander Reyes launched dozens of unmanned drones ahead of Earth's interceptors. The alien fighters ignored them, exactly as she had hoped. The drones suddenly exploded into clouds of metallic fragments, confusing Dominion targeting systems. Human aircraft rushed through the debris and fired coordinated missile volleys from unexpected angles. 3 alien fighters fell into the ocean. For the first time in thousands of years, Dominion pilots reported losses against a newly discovered civilization. On the Iron Judgment, an officer looked up in surprise. They anticipated our approach. Varric remained calm. Minor losses. Yet another report arrived seconds later. Our predictive combat models are dropping below 90% accuracy. That caught his attention. Explain. We cannot, Commander. Human tactics are changing faster than expected. Varric frowned. No primitive civilization adapts this quickly. Meanwhile, Elena sat surrounded by streams of intercepted Dominion transmissions. Most remained encrypted, but fragments slipped through. Unexpected resistance, behavior inconsistent with technological level. Request updated classification. She whispered, "They're rewriting their opinion of us." An intelligence analyst beside her smiled. "Good." "No," Elena answered quietly. "They're learning. And so are we." Far above Earth, Commander Reyes studied the battlefield. Human forces were winning small victories, but ammunition was disappearing quickly. "We can't keep this pace forever," her deputy warned. "I know." She stared at the alien fleet. "They're testing us." Almost as if to prove her right, the Dominion fighters suddenly withdrew. No pursuit, no final attack. They simply returned to orbit. Confusion spread through Earth's command centers. General Brooks folded his arms. Why retreat? No one answered. Aboard the Iron Judgment, Varric reviewed recordings from the battle. The humans had sacrificed expensive equipment to create opportunities. Civilian satellites had been deliberately crashed into military targets. Commercial cargo rockets had been converted into decoys within hours. Entire communication networks had reorganized themselves without waiting for central approval. The Dominion had never encountered such behavior. One officer spoke carefully. "They do not fight efficiently." Varric nodded. "They fight creatively." The distinction unsettled him more than he wished to admit. Before he could speak again, another alert appeared. Long-range reconnaissance vessel missing. "Location?" Varric demanded. "The outer edge of the system." "Cause?" "Unknown." A second alert appeared. Then a third. 3 scout ships had vanished while investigating the strange signal beyond the known planets. No distress calls, no debris, nothing. The bridge fell silent. Finally, the navigation officer broke the tension. "Commander, our sensors recorded one transmission before the last scout disappeared." "Play it." Static filled the bridge, then came the frightened voice of a Dominion captain. "We've found something impossible." Heavy breathing. "It isn't a ship." Another burst of static. "It isn't a station." The captain's voice became little more than a whisper. "I think it was already watching us." The transmission ended. Every officer stared at the display. Commander Varric slowly looked toward the distant blue world below. Perhaps Earth was not the greatest mystery in this star system after all. Perhaps something else had been waiting in the darkness long before either side arrived. And whatever had taken 3 Dominion scout ships had left behind no wreckage. Only silence. The first rescue fleet expected to recover damaged scout ships. Instead, it found empty space. Commander Rollick stared through the bridge window of the Dominion cruiser Resolute Spear. 3 reconnaissance vessels had vanished beyond the orbit of Neptune. There were no wrecks, no escape pods, and no energy signatures. Only darkness. "Scan the area again," he ordered. The sensor officer worked quickly. "Nothing, Commander." "No debris?" "None." "No radiation?" "None." Rollick frowned. "Even a destroyed ship left a trail. It is as if they simply stopped existing." Back aboard the Iron Judgment, Commander Varric listened to the report without speaking. 3 missing ships could be explained. 6 could not. Send another rescue group, he said. Maintain constant communication. As you command. The order spread through the fleet. No one noticed the faint pulse moving silently through the outer solar system. It lasted less than a second. Then it disappeared again. On Earth, the brief victory over the first Dominion attack had lifted spirits, but no one celebrated. General Nathan Brooks gathered his senior officers. The enemy pulled back. That means they're planning something. Commander Maya Reyes nodded. They've measured our defenses. The next attack will be harder. Dr. Elena Carter entered the room carrying several data tablets. I found something. Everyone turned toward her. The Dominion keeps referring to a place called the Great Archive. Brooks folded his arms. Their database? Much more than that. She displayed translated fragments from intercepted transmissions, species classification, historical registry, civilization index. They act as though every intelligent species belongs inside one enormous record. And us? Reyes asked. Elena shook her head. We aren't in it. Silence filled the room. Brooks finally spoke. Could they be lying? I don't think so. Why? Because they're confused. She enlarged another translation. Impossible. No registration. Verification failed. They truly don't understand why Earth isn't listed. Brooks looked toward the ceiling as though he could see the alien ships waiting above. So both sides have a mystery. Across the planet, scientists worked day and night studying every signal from orbit. At a radio observatory in Australia, a young astrophysicist named Liam Chen noticed an unusual pattern. A weak transmission appeared every 17 minutes. It did not come from the Dominion fleet. Its origin seemed to lie somewhere beyond Pluto. He checked his instruments. Everything worked perfectly. The signal returned. This time it contained repeating mathematical sequences. Liam immediately contacted Dr. Carter. Hours later, she arrived. He pointed at the screen. It isn't random. Elena studied the numbers. No. They're counting. Counting what? I don't know. The signal repeated. This time it lasted 2 seconds longer. Elena felt a chill. It's changing. Commander Varric personally reviewed the latest rescue mission. The surviving cruiser approached the location where the scouts had disappeared. Nothing happened for several minutes. Then every monitor aboard the cruiser flickered. The captain reported calmly. Minor interference. A second later, his voice changed. Commander, our star charts are wrong. What do you mean? The planets. He hesitated. They're not where they should be. The bridge camera shook violently. Crew members looked around in confusion. One officer whispered, I don't remember coming here. Another stared at his own hands. How long have we been on this mission? Varric's eyes narrowed. What is happening? Static burst across the channel. The captain looked directly into the camera. His expression was filled with fear. Commander, something is changing our memories. The transmission ended. The cruiser vanished from every sensor. Not destroyed, not hidden, gone. For the first time in his military career, Commander Varric felt genuine uncertainty. On Earth, Commander Reyes supervised repairs to the orbital defense stations. Engineers worked beside civilian volunteers. College students assembled drones. Factory workers built replacement parts around the clock. Nobody asked whose job it was. They simply helped. One exhausted mechanic laughed as another shipment arrived. We're building weapons with parts meant for farm equipment. His friend smiled. If they fly, they fly. Reyes watched quietly. This was humanity's greatest strength. Not machines, people. Every problem became everyone's problem. Late that night, Elena returned to her laboratory. Liam rushed inside. You need to see this. The mysterious signal had changed again. This time, hidden beneath the mathematical pattern, another sequence appeared. It was not alien writing. It was English. Only 4 words. Do not answer them. Elena stared at the screen. That's impossible. Liam swallowed. We never transmitted English into deep space. Then who did? Neither of them had an answer. Far beyond Neptune, where sunlight had become little more than a distant glow, something ancient awakened. Not a ship, not a weapon, a network. Invisible structures hidden among drifting ice and forgotten rocks slowly came to life. Power flowed through systems that had slept for millions of years. One by one, silent sensors turned toward Earth, toward the Dominion fleet, toward the darkness beyond the solar system. A final signal spread through the hidden network. Quarantine status, compromised. Successor species, detected. Observer systems, awakening. Neither humanity nor the Dominion understood what those words meant. But somewhere in the cold emptiness beyond the last known planet, something had finally opened its eyes. And it was watching them both. The stars around Neptune did not disappear. They moved. Commander Varric stared at the tactical display as impossible readings poured across the bridge of the Iron Judgment. Every sensor insisted the distant stars had shifted position by several degrees. The calculations changed again a second later, placing them back where they belonged. No natural phenomenon can do that, his science officer whispered. Varric remained calm. Then it is not natural. Another report arrived from the rescue fleet. No contact with the missing cruisers. Search patterns complete. Expand the search. Commander, the crews are refusing. For the first time in many years, Varric heard fear in the voice of a Dominion officer. They believe something is waiting beyond the 8th planet. He looked toward the dark edge of the solar system. So do I. On Earth, Dr. Elena Carter had not slept in nearly 2 days. The mysterious message, "Do not answer them," remained on every screen in her laboratory. She replayed it again. The mathematical code surrounding the English words formed an enormous pattern stretching across millions of kilometers. "It isn't a transmission," she murmured. Liam Chen looked up from another console. "What is it?" "A map." He hurried beside her. She highlighted hundreds of tiny signal sources scattered throughout the solar system. Asteroids, frozen comets, distant moons. The signal came from all of them at once. "They're connected," Liam whispered. Elena nodded slowly. "And they've been here much longer than we have." General Nathan Brooks entered the room. "Tell me this is good news." She could not. "I think something hidden throughout the solar system has started waking up." Commander Maya Reyes stood inside Earth's orbital defense station as repair crews rushed through the corridors. Humanity had survived the first clash, but barely. "Our missile reserves? 43%. Replacement drones? Production has doubled." She smiled faintly. "Good." An engineer approached her carrying a damaged piece of Dominion technology recovered from the Pacific Ocean. "We've learned something." Reyes examined the device. "It repairs itself. Only until we confuse it." He handed her a report. "When we exposed it to random electrical pulses, its repair system failed." She looked surprised. "Random? It expects logical damage." A slow smile crossed her face. "Then we'll stop behaving logically." Far beyond Pluto, buried beneath layers of ancient ice, a structure larger than a city completed its awakening. Its outer shell cracked apart without sound. Dust that had rested for millions of years drifted into space. Inside, lights slowly illuminated. Machines began speaking to one another in a language no living civilization remembered. Observer Array 12 online. Observer Array 19 online. Primary quarantine network restoring. One final message echoed through the ancient system. Searching for designated successors. The Dominion launched its second offensive. This time they did not send fighters. 3 massive warships descended toward Earth's orbit, each carrying weapons powerful enough to erase continents. General Brooks watched the tactical display. "They're done testing us." Commander Reyes opened a fleet-wide channel. "Every unit, remember what we've learned. Don't fight their strengths. Force them to react." Thousands of human drones launched first. Instead of attacking, they scattered in every direction. Dominion targeting computers struggled to identify priorities. Before they adapted, civilian communication satellites suddenly activated emergency thrusters, placing themselves directly between Dominion weapons and Earth's defense stations. The alien ships hesitated. That hesitation lasted only seconds. It was enough. Hidden missile batteries buried beneath the moon's surface fired their first volley. The Dominion lost another cruiser. Varric watched the explosion in silence. His fleet possessed superior technology, yet every engagement grew more expensive. "The humans improvise," one officer said quietly. "They sacrifice small advantages to create larger ones." Varric nodded. "They refuse to fight the battle we prepared for." Deep beneath Antarctica, strange seismic activity shook an international research station. Scientists initially believed it to be an earthquake, then the ice split open. Not violently. Precisely. A perfect circular opening appeared beneath nearly 3 kilometers of frozen ground. Expedition leader Dr. Sophia Malik descended with a small team. At the bottom, they found smooth black walls untouched by time. There were no tool marks, no signs of erosion. The chamber should not have existed. In its center stood a single pillar. As Sophia approached, the pillar awakened. Soft blue light spread across its surface. Symbols appeared one after another. None matched any known language. Then, without warning, the symbols rearranged themselves. Perfect English appeared across the stone. "Welcome, successor species." Every member of the expedition froze. The next sentence appeared. "Humanity has remained undiscovered for 3,218 years." Sophia's hands trembled. "That's impossible." The pillar continued. "Primary quarantine has failed. Emergency protocols activated." Elena received the Antarctic transmission minutes later. She read the translated message 3 times before speaking. "They weren't hiding from us." General Brooks looked at her. "What do you mean?" She met his eyes. "They were hiding us." The room fell silent. No one understood why an entire solar system would be concealed from the rest of the galaxy. Before anyone could speak again, every screen across the command center flashed white. A new signal had arrived. Unlike the earlier warnings, this one contained only a single sentence. "They have finally found the door." At the exact same moment, Dominion long-range sensors detected hundreds of enormous objects emerging from the darkness beyond the edge of the solar system. None had been there 1 minute earlier, and every one of them was moving toward Earth. The fleet appeared without crossing space. One moment the darkness beyond the solar system was empty. The next, hundreds of enormous shapes stood against the stars like shadows carved from the night itself. No engines burned. No energy trails followed them. They simply existed. Every sensor aboard the Iron Judgment failed to explain how they had arrived. Commander Varric looked at the impossible readings. "Count them." The tactical officer swallowed. "We cannot." "Why?" "The number keeps changing." Some sensors reported 200 ships. Others reported 500. A few reported only 1. No 2 systems agreed. Varric had fought dozens of civilizations. He had never fought uncertainty. On Earth, every observatory locked onto the newcomers. General Nathan Brooks watched the live feed in silence. "They're not broadcasting." Dr. Elena Carter shook her head. "No. They don't need to." The ancient pillar beneath Antarctica had awakened again. Its blue light filled the underground chamber. Scientists from around the world listened as its calm voice echoed through hidden speakers. "Quarantine breach confirmed. Hostile extragalactic entity detected." Dr. Sophia Malik stepped closer. "Who built you?" The answer came immediately. "The First Alliance." "What happened to them?" A pause followed. Then one sentence. "They failed." Commander Maya Reyes stood aboard Earth's largest orbital defense station. Her deputy stared at the growing fleet. "We can't fight all of them." Reyes answered quietly. "Then we'll make sure we never fight them the way they expect." She opened a secure channel to every military commander on Earth. Forget every standard doctrine. Small independent groups. Constant communication. If one plan fails, create another. Within minutes, commanders across the planet rewrote battle plans that had taken years to prepare. The Dominion watched in disbelief. Humanity had changed its entire strategy before the battle had even begun. Aboard the Iron Judgment, another disturbing report arrived. Our predictive combat network has collapsed. Varric frowned. Explain. The humans keep changing. They abandon successful tactics. They invent new ones. Our models cannot stabilize. For the first time, Varric understood why the first invasion had stalled. Human beings did not seek the perfect plan. They simply refused to stop adapting. Deep beneath Antarctica, the ancient pillar revealed more of its history. Millions of years earlier, an alliance of civilizations had faced an enemy unlike any before it. The invaders did not conquer worlds. They absorbed them. Every captured civilization became part of a single intelligence. Every victory made that intelligence stronger. When the first alliance realized it could not destroy the enemy, it created a different solution, a prison. The solar system became its hidden lock. Earth became its unnoticed center. Every record of humanity had been erased from the galactic archives before humans even existed. No explorer was meant to find this place. No empire was meant to enter. The Dominion had broken the seal. General Brooks looked toward Elena. So Varric wasn't invading an ordinary planet. No, Elena whispered. He invaded the galaxy's safest vault. The newcomers finally moved, not toward Earth, toward the Dominion fleet. One black vessel drifted forward without accelerating. Its surface flowed like liquid darkness. A Dominion cruiser fired first. Brilliant beams of energy struck the approaching ship. Nothing happened. The darkness absorbed every shot. Then the cruiser simply vanished. No explosion. No debris. An entire warship disappeared. Silence spread across every communication channel. Even hardened Dominion veterans stared in horror. Commander Varric made the hardest decision of his career. He opened a direct channel to Earth. General Brooks appeared on the screen. For several seconds, neither commander spoke. Finally, Varric broke the silence. I was wrong. Brooks remained cautious. You invaded our world. Yes. And now we face a greater enemy. The human general studied the alien commander's face. He saw pride, regret, and something unexpected. Honesty. What do you propose? Varric lowered his head. An alliance. The proposal shocked leaders on both sides. Some human commanders demanded revenge. Many Dominion officers refused to fight beside a species they had dismissed as primitive. Commander Reyes ended the argument. If we waste time fighting each other, none of us survive. Her words spread through every command network. One by one, objections faded. Human and Dominion ships began exchanging tactical information, not because they trusted one another, because survival demanded it. As the combined fleets prepared for battle, Elena received one final transmission from the ancient pillar. Its voice sounded weaker now. Successor authorization ready. Define successor. The chamber became silent. Then a new answer appeared. Not the strongest. Not the oldest. The ones who choose to protect others. Elena closed her eyes. She finally understood. The ancient builders had never searched for perfect warriors. They had searched for a civilization willing to defend strangers, even former enemies. Outside, human rescue ships crossed the battlefield to save damaged Dominion crews. Dominion medical vessels answered distress calls from human pilots. Old enemies had become reluctant allies within a single day. The ancient network had been watching, and it had made its choice. Across the hidden stations scattered throughout the solar system, lights blazed to life. One final message spread through every ancient installation. Successor species confirmed. Transfer of authority initiated. The ancient stations awakened together. From Mercury to the frozen edge of the Oort cloud, lights that had slept for millions of years blazed across the darkness. Invisible structures revealed themselves one after another, surrounding the solar system like a silent shield. Every human and Dominion sensor locked onto them. Commander Varric watched in disbelief. They were here all along. No one answered. The impossible had become reality. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Elena Carter stood before the ancient pillar as its blue light grew brighter than ever. Its voice filled the chamber. Transfer of authority accepted. Successor species, humanity. A new section of the pillar slowly opened. Inside rested no weapon, no crown, no treasure. Only a glowing sphere filled with shifting stars. "What is it?" Elena asked. The answer came calmly. The memory of the first alliance. She reached toward it. The moment her hand touched its surface, visions flooded her mind. She saw thousands of civilizations standing together beneath unfamiliar suns. She saw the arrival of the enemy from the darkness between galaxies. She saw entire star systems fall without firing a single shot. The enemy did not destroy life. It erased individuality. Every conquered mind became another voice inside one endless consciousness. Then she saw the first alliance make its final decision. Unable to win the war, they built a prison around the greatest gateway the enemy could use. They erased every record leading to it. They concealed Earth long before humanity evolved. Finally, Elena understood. Humanity had never been an accident. It had been a hope. Outside, the dark fleet advanced. The strange vessels still fired no weapons. Instead, invisible waves spread through space. Several Dominion ships suddenly changed course. Their crews stopped responding. Commander Varek opened emergency channels. "Cruiser 7, report." No answer. The cruiser slowly turned toward the approaching darkness. Its own escorts fired warning shots. Nothing changed. "They've lost control," an officer whispered. Varek made his decision. Disable the cruiser. The order hurt. Thousands of Dominion lives were aboard. But seconds later, the drifting cruiser accelerated toward the combined fleet. Human and Dominion warships fired together. The vessel exploded in a burst of white light. Silence followed. Commander Reyes lowered her head. They were already gone. The ancient stations finally acted. Brilliant beams connected every hidden installation throughout the solar system. A web of light surrounded Earth. The dark fleet hesitated. For the first time, the enemy stopped advancing. General Nathan Brooks looked at the tactical display. "They're reacting." Elena's voice came through the secure channel. "The network isn't attacking them." "What is it doing?" "It's giving us time." The pillar revealed the final instruction. "The network cannot win this war." Elena frowned. "Then why activate it?" "It was never built to destroy. It was built to choose." "Choose what?" The answer echoed across the chamber. "Who fights next?" She finally understood why humanity had been selected. Not because humans possessed the strongest ships. Not because they had the greatest weapons. Human beings constantly changed. They argued. They disagreed. They questioned everything. Yet when faced with extinction, they united faster than any civilization the ancient builders had ever studied. That unpredictability made them impossible to absorb completely. Commander Reyes assembled the commanders of both fleets. "We can't outgun them." Varek nodded. "We cannot predict them either." She smiled. "Good." The alien commander looked confused. "We'll make sure they can't predict us." Human engineers connected Dominion shield generators to Earth satellites. Dominion scientists modified human missiles. Civilian cargo ships became decoys. Mining lasers became defensive weapons. Nothing resembled standard military doctrine anymore. The battle plan changed every hour, sometimes every minute. Even the people carrying it out did not know the next step until moments before it happened. The enemy adapted. Then humanity changed again. The Dominion followed. Again and again. The great consciousness began making mistakes, for the first time in millions of years. It faced opponents who refused to remain the same. The Dark Fleet launched its final assault. Hundreds of shadow vessels rushed toward Earth's defensive network. Human fighters scattered in every direction. Dominion cruisers deliberately opened gaps in their own formation. Ancient stations shifted their energy beams without warning. Nothing happened according to logic. Everything happened according to opportunity. The enemy struggled to anticipate the next move. Its perfect coordination became hesitation. Its hesitation became failure. The shield surrounding the solar system flared brilliantly. The dark vessels nearest Earth began breaking apart. One after another, they retreated beyond the edge of the system. Then more followed. Within minutes, the vast fleet that had terrified two civilizations was fleeing into intergalactic darkness. No pursuit came. The ancient network had done exactly what it was designed to do: protect the gateway, not wage endless war. Weeks later, silence finally returned to the solar system. Damaged ships drifted beside repair stations built jointly by humans and Dominion crews. Former enemies worked side by side. Commander Varek walked through a human medical center where injured Dominion soldiers were receiving treatment. He stopped beside General Brooks. "You saved my people." Brooks smiled. "You helped save ours." Varek looked through the window at Earth. "I believed strength came from conquest. And now, I know it comes from choosing not to." The Galactic Accord arrived days later. Its representatives had crossed half the galaxy after receiving impossible reports. They expected to find a forgotten primitive world. Instead, they found the civilization that had defended the greatest secret in galactic history. For the first time, Earth's name was entered into the Great Archive. Not as a conquered world, not as a newly discovered species, as the protectors of the hidden gate. Delegates from dozens of civilizations stood together as the new record was read aloud. No cheers followed, only respectful silence. Everyone understood the price of the secret humanity had carried without ever knowing it. Months later, children from many worlds visited Earth. They laughed together beneath blue skies that had once been hidden from the galaxy. At the restored Antarctic Research Station, Elena looked toward the ancient pillar one last time. Its light had almost faded. One final message appeared. "Mission complete. Thank you." The light disappeared forever. The machines that had waited millions of years had finally found worthy successors. High above, stars shone peacefully over a world that was no longer forgotten. Humanity had entered the Great Archive at last, not because others discovered it, because when the galaxy needed someone to stand between civilization and the darkness, humanity proved it belonged there. And beyond the rim of the galaxy where the defeated enemy had vanished into the endless night, no shadow fleet ever returned.